Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are working on this 2015 Volkswagen Jetta sport wagon. It's already modified quite a bit in the suspension department. It's on rally coilovers. I believe they're from Flat Out. But today we're doing power upgrades. Got here brand new turbo. I believe this is a CR190, which is improved from the stock one that's on there right now. Got the charge pipe, the turbo muffler, delete, I guess you would say. As you can tell, that quite an improvement in the flow department. And we're also doing an oil cooler, external oil cooler upgrade here to get rid of the coolant, oil cooling, all that stuff. So let's get into this. All right, with the hood open, now you can really see what we have to get into. Turbo is tucked way down in there. So I'm going to start off by, first off, jacking this thing up so I can get underneath it. I'm going to put on ramps up front and then stands in the back. There's a little suspension droopage going on this side, so can't really lift it all the way up, and yeah, axle might pop out of place and I don't want that right now. So anyways, I'm going to do that and then start turning this apart. I also forgot to mention that this thing is a TDI, so I mean that adds to the cool factor. Alright, I'm gonna get the rear jacked up and then I'll show you what the underneath looks like on this. Well, the turbo's up there somewhere. Alright, to start things off, I'm going to remove the air box, get rid of the cover here. The charge pipe is way in there, so I'm going to take that out and see if I can't do anything about the DEF, DPF, whatever you want to call it back here. I'm hoping I don't have to remove it, just put it off to the side and then pull the whole turbo unit, but we'll see. Well, after some time getting this connector off that really kicked my butt, there's the cold side of the turbo down there. Just need to take off this right here, and then we can play with the exhaust.
That side of the turbo looks okay. Oh yeah, look how gross it is. Something definitely was leaking. Definitely was this part. Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, see, my turbo is definitely fucking leaking oil, dude. That discharge pipe is soaked. And there's no way for that discharge pipe to get soaked. At least if it was from this can. How good's this magnet?
Like you just said, Milwaukee.
Yeah, well, I trust this magnet a little more. Oh shit, there's another light. That's why it's 6 feet.
Do.
Be very gentle with those guys.
Oh yeah.
Those guys blow up after you do water pumps. I can only imagine what they do after you pull a turbo. The fact it didn't blow up last time we worked on it,
yeah,
pulled all that stuff off. Because what it is you yank the engine up and those wires get pulled or something, and they blow up after you do it. Usually only during a water pump job. However, it didn't do that last time. I'm surprised. Is that a vacuum line?
Yeah, it's the actuator.
Oh, I don't have that.
What?
I don't have an actuator vacuum line on mine.
You don't have that?
I don't think so.
Crisis averted, everybody. There is a vacuum line.
I was pretty sure I didn't. Oh, that's right. There's just this coolant line.
The coolant line, and I need to get underneath. See what this is plugged into.
There's another plug somewhere on that turbo.
Yeah, it's probably
I think it's a speed
whatever
sensor.
that is. The one that's going down.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna find a good spot to put my hand without breaking anything. This one?
Yeah. Alright. I'll find where that's going and then unplug it.
Dark side development.
They don't have a video?
They probably do, but I can't seem to find one. And then the one guy who's like, alright, we're gonna swap out turbos, he goes, oh dude, it took me 10 minutes, so I didn't even record it.
Okay.
And then they threw it on the dyno. Well, it's deleted though, so it's like,
Yeah.
all that shit that we're dealing with is gone.
Alright, now since that doesn't move still, let's see what else is holding this on.
Probably another bracket.
What is that?
I wonder if I can use that heat shield on my turbo.
That'd be nice. Oh, there's another bracket way in here. Yeah. Alright, so I left the camera charge up a bit. We're working on getting the DEF out of here. Got the V-band loose on this side. All the brackets along the side here of the DEF are now loosened up. And underneath here, I'm working on getting the EGR cooler out, so I have more room up in here to work. Downpipe is disconnected, so yeah, I'm gonna work on getting the EGR cooler out. So for the, what is this called? EGR cooler, there is a bracket way in here with a triple square that you'll have to get out. Also need to take off the discharge pipe here. All right, bracket after bracket, finally got the DEF loose. So hopefully we can have enough room and just slide it off to the side. They say we can do the turbo without removing all that. Hopefully that's the case. All right, so got the DEF somewhat out of the way. Can't really look in there without a flashlight, but we can get the nuts that hold the manifold on right here. But the turbo drain, which is underneath, it looks like the EGR cooler does have to come out, so we have access to get that line out of the way. And then the turbo should be able to come out. Finally got the EGR cooler out of here. It was really tight. Had to remove the pendulum that holds the transmission in the subframe so we get enough movement in the engine to rock it back and forth and drop it from the bottom. But now I have access to the turbo oil drain, and yeah, I'll loosen that up right now, and then all that's left is the nuts holding the manifold to the engine. All right, now that the oil feed and drain are disconnected, finally tackle all the exhaust nuts that are holding this on. All right, got all the turbo nuts off of it. It's real loose now, but underneath the hard line turns right into it, keeping me from pulling outwards. So I'm gonna figure out how to take the hard line off. Looks like it just goes down and down there somewhere. So I'm gonna mess with that and hopefully get this turbo out. Finally. All right, finally got more movement in the turbo. This bracket was in the way, so let's see if we can't get it out now. Oh, that line is definitely still troublesome. Yeah. Alright, well, let's move that out of the way. Alright, now with the old turbo out, we can just install this new one. Just reverse order of everything we did. So we're going to install that right quick, I should say. And we'll get back to you when everything's back together. Alright guys, it's a new day. Where I left off was getting the turbo installed. I still have a few more things to do, like attaching the DEF and EGR cooler, which is over there on the table. Unfortunately, we have to keep all the emissions on this car. It is street legal, so it is what it is. Yeah, so I'm gonna continue working on getting all that connected, and then we can work on the oil cooler, which is down in there. So I'm gonna finish up the turbo and then we can get started on the oil cooler. All right guys, so the turbo is finally on down there. Everything's installed down below. Up top, we can mess with that here in a minute. But right now, we're getting the car in service mode so we can get to the oil cooler, which is right in here. So this whole front end has to come off. It's pretty easy, just take off the front bumper. I'm just gonna slide the condenser out of the way, disconnect cooling lines, and then unbolt the crash bumper, and this whole front clip comes off. Easy. Trying to get all the radiators disconnected. Main radiator and the heat exchanger. Just like that, it's in service mode. Look at all the room for activities now, Hayden. So, we need to get right in here. Right, well, that's the oil cooler. So, we need to take the stock one off and then put that plate on. And then lines, and then run a new external oil cooler to the front. Alright, so instructions are very unclear on how to do this from the person that this came from. It's just pictures. Basically, we just have to remove all of this mess to get inside there. That's all I got. So I'll bring it back once all this is out of the way. Alright, now we can actually get to this oil cooler. We got to take off this whole assembly and then unbolt this up top and then put the plate on. There's a lot of lines around here that we had to take off, that whole mess over there, but so here's the plate for the external oil cooler. Just run these lines off that. We just need to put all that back together, and we start figuring out how to route the oil cooler. Alright, so the oil cooler is now mounted. That thing looks sweet on there. While Hayden looks up torque specs for this, I'm going to finish up things back here. I got everything plugged in now. I'm just going to start mounting things onto the turbo. Alright, everything's torqued down. Gonna put that mess of hoses back on the front end, and then we can actually do something with this car. What an absolute mess this was, but now we can get the front end back on. Gotta figure out how to run these to the front using going through the shroud there, or radiator support rather. Yeah, I think the next step is get that front end back on, right?
Yep.
Very well. Alright guys, it's finally looking like some. Mock the front end on, just so we can check for leaks in the coolant system and everything else. Running the lines for the oil cooler. Mount the cooler right up front here. We're almost there. Alright guys, finally got the oil cooler installed. I'm going to tighten up the oil filter right now, put the intake on, and then we're going to attempt to prime it so oil gets in the new turbo and the oil cooler. And then hopefully we'll start it up. Yep. we're just priming the oil right now. Make sure it gets in the turbo and inside the oil cooler up here.
Have the hood open, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Well, it's finally time to put this tune on this car. Everything is connected. Coolant is bled. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, brother. Stage 3 tune. It's about damn time. Well, while that downloads, I'm going to continue cleaning this mess up. And the next time I record, it should be running. Hopefully. Tune is finally done. Well, she starts. That's a good sign, at least. Well, you can't do this much work without expecting problems, minor or major. And the very cooling leak. It's coming from the oil cooler assembly area. So we got to tear this whole thing apart again, but at least we got the majority of it done. But that's going to be all for today. So thank you guys for watching.